Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next hour, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh reiterates at the Bhuj Air Force Station that Operation Sindoor is not over. It only puts Pakistan on probation. Compliments Indian Armed Forces for carrying forward Prime Minister Modi's message not just to Pakistan but to the entire world.
सिंदूर अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है। जो कुछ भी हुआ वह सिर्फ एक ट्रेलर मात्र था। अब जब समय आएगा, जब भी सही समय आएगा, तो हम पूरी पिक्चर भी दुनिया को दिखाएंगे।
India retaliates against Turkey for support given to Pakistan, revokes security clearance of Turkish ground handling firm Celebi airport services. Traders of various states meet in New Delhi, decide to boycott products from Turkey. In a first, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar speaks with his Talibani counterpart, thanks Afghanistan for condemning the Pahalgam terror attack, affirms India's commitment to carry forward development works in Afghanistan. Ukraine peace talks expected in Istanbul today in the absence of top leaders. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio says Trump and Putin need to meet for progress to be made. Downplays expectations of a peace breakthrough. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today interacted with country's courageous air warriors at the Bhuj Air Force Station in Gujarat today. He evaluated the operational preparedness of the Indian Armed Forces in the region and examined the effectiveness of strengthened security measures. Addressing the air warriors, Rajnath Singh commended the contribution of Indian Armed Forces in the success of Operation Sindoor. He said that the Indian Air Force displayed not just their might, but also proved to the world that now India's war policy and technologies have changed.
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान इंडियन एयर फोर्स ने केवल पराक्रम ही नहीं दिखाया है, बल्कि पूरी दुनिया के सामने प्रमाण भी दिया है। प्रमाण इस बात का कि अब भारत की युद्ध नीति और टेक्नोलॉजी यानी तकनीक भी दोनों बदल चुकी है। आपने प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में नए भारत का संदेश पूरी दुनिया तक इस बार पहुंचा दिया है।
The Defence Minister reiterated praise for the capabilities of Made in India weapons during his address. He said weapons made in India are precise and impenetrable.
यह संदेश है कि अब भारत केवल विदेशों से इंपोर्ट किए गए हथियारों और प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर ही निर्भर नहीं है, बल्कि भारत में बने अस्त्र और शस्त्र भी हमारी सैन्य शक्ति का अब हिस्सा बन चुके हैं। अब भारत में बने और भारतीय हथियारों से बने हथियार भी अचूक और अभेद्य हैं। यह पूरे विश्व ने देख लिया है।
Rajnath Singh also urged International Monetary Fund IMF to reconsider its decision to fund Pakistan, saying that Pakistan will spend a large portion of the funds on terror infrastructure in the country.
मैं मानता हूं कि आज के समय में पाकिस्तान को किसी भी तरह की आर्थिक सहायता टेरर फंडिंग से कम नहीं है। भारत यही चाहेगा कि IMF पाकिस्तान को अपनी $1 बिलियन की असिस्टेंस पर वह पुनर्विचार करे और आगे भी किसी भी तरह की सहायता देने से IMF परहेज करे। भारत नहीं चाहता जो फंडिंग हम IMF को करते हैं वह डायरेक्ट या इनडायरेक्ट किसी भी तरीके से पाकिस्तान या किसी भी देश में टेरर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को बनाने में वह इस्तेमाल की जाए। भारत माता की।
So at the end of the address, chants of Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Jo Bole So Nihal resonated at Gujarat's Bhuj Air Force Base. Indian Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh was also present there. The Bhuj Air Base holds significant strategic importance and has been targeted by Pakistani forces in the past. Indian Army air defence units deployed near Bhuj and Nalia had successfully neutralised multiple hostile Pakistani drones in recent days, effectively foiling attempts to target vital military installations. So India's top leadership continues to visit border states to review security situation and commend soldiers for safeguarding India's borders against enemies. Earlier on Wednesday, the Defence Minister visited the Badami Bagh cantonment in Srinagar, where he addressed the soldiers, calling out Pakistan on nuclear blackmail, while raising questions if nuclear weapons were safe in the hands of a rogue nation like Pakistan. Rajnath Singh had also urged International Atomic Energy Agency to take supervision of the weapons. Earlier on Tuesday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Air Force Station Adampur in Punjab and met and interacted with country's brave air warriors and soldiers. He praised their courage and professionalism in protecting the nation and said that Operation Sindoor is a trinity in India's policy intent, decisive capability. He stressed that if Pakistan shows any further terrorist activity or military aggression, India will respond decisively and firmly, which will be on India's terms, in India's way. Operation Sindoor has demonstrated the spectacular capabilities of India's indigenous weaponry. The Akash Tir air defence system was instrumental in intercepting Pakistani missiles and drones. Akash Tir prevented Pakistani drones and missiles from entering the Indian airspace. Compared to Akash Tir, Pakistan's air defence response comprising of HQ-9 and HQ-16 proved to be a failure in detecting Indian projectiles, resulting in heavy losses. Akash Tir provides a common, real-time air picture to all involved parties, enabling coordinated air defence operations. It integrates various radar systems, sensors and communication technologies into a single operational framework. Akash Tir is part of the broader C4ISR, that is Command, Control, Communications, Computers, Intelligence, Surveillance and Reconnaissance Framework. Its technology allows for monitoring of low-level airspace in battle areas and efficient control of ground-based air defence weapon systems. India has joined the elite club of nations with fully automated and integrated ADCNR capability. The most disruptive element of Akash Tir is its ability to absorb data from multiple feeds and to make real-time decisions, reroute missions and execute attack autonomously. Akash Tir also increases automation and efficiency by eliminating human inputs and decentralizing. India's claims of Pakistan harbouring terrorists has been backed by none other than its Defence Minister Khwaja Mohammad Asif, who in an interview with a British news channel admitted that the country supported terrorist groups for 3 decades. Asif further described it as a mistake and said that Pakistan has paid a heavy price for its actions. Terrorism in Pakistan is not just the result of extremist groups acting on their own. It is often supported directly or indirectly by parts of the state. Groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba have received funding, training and protection from Pakistan's intelligence agency, the ISI. As seen in the 2008 Mumbai attacks, these groups also survive through illegal funding networks, including fake charities, drug trade and counterfeit money. This shows that terrorism in Pakistan is part of a larger system, not just a problem of extremism. The evidence of Pakistan's involvement in sponsoring terrorism is substantial and multifaceted, encompassing direct support to terrorist organizations, financial facilitation and the provision of safe havens. The inclusion of Pakistan-based individuals and groups in the UNSC 1267 sanctions list underscores the international community's recognition of this issue. And Lieutenant General Rajiv Chopra, retired, joins me on the show now. He's a renowned defence expert. Sir, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has talked about India's striking ability. Why was India able to so very effectively carry out multiple precise and powerful airstrikes to destroy Pakistan's terror camps and air defence systems and key military bases, and why Pakistan was so helpless to respond?
See, very, very well brought out by you. See, the first thing is that India took 14 days to carry out detailed preparation before it struck. And it was a total surprise attack combined with deception. And in 4 days, India was able to achieve the unachievable. It was a very decisive victory. Firstly, on the first night of the 7th, they struck 9 terrorist camps and they were pulverized. More than 100 Pakistan terrorists were killed. In fact, you saw on television that Maulana Azur Mazat's family, 14 members had died, and Pakistan, unholy alliance with these terrorists, were very clear. The senior army officers visited their funeral and they were declared as martyrs, and they're being funded also. Even their coffins were draped in the national flag, and a wreath was also laid on behalf of the Chief of the Army Staff. Coming to next, India had very clearly said that it will not strike again because they were striking against the terrorist camp only. But as Pakistan is, they thought India is weak, they struck. And in our retaliation, we carried out very, very severe strikes. We pulverized the systems. We destroyed their headquarter 9 and headquarter 16 missile systems which were from China. Firstly, what I want to bring out, that the first attack with the Pakistanis abroad, we had our air defense system, like brought out by you, were very, very robust. There were 400 and 500 drones, couple of missiles, they all negated, and not even one penetrated any airbase or the military installation. It was very, very robust. Akash Tir system is very robust. It consists of multi-layer, multi-dimensional radars, and also the satellites are involved in it. The weapon system and the missile system is a mix. After that, India retaliated severely and destroyed the missile station in a number of Air Force bases. Pakistan didn't listen, and again it struck back, again at a basis, but the attack was once again retaliated, and that is the time we had a decisive decision where we struck their 11 air bases. To name a few, the most important one was the Noor Khan base, which is very close to the Rawalpindi and Islamabad, which has the, carries the VIP flights. It is also the air command, aerial command there, and also the logistics base. 76 and 78 refuelers are there. Therefore, it is very, very important. It is something akin to striking the center of gravity, a nerve of the station. And the Pakistanis were totally surprised.
They were totally, surprised. Now, with Operation Sindoor, sir, India has rewritten the rules of engagement, declaring that when provoked, it can and will deliver a measured but overwhelming response. In the context of Pakistan's sponsorship of terror, how important is this fundamental rewriting of the rules of engagement?
Yeah, till now we were seen as a soft state by Pakistan and also by the global community, that whenever the strike is there, we do nothing. From 2016 to 2019, we did minor strike and we showed the intention. But this time we struck so hard, and now also as a doctrine, as a war-fighting doctrine, we have said all acts of terror will be taken as war. And we have totally changed that, and we have shown our intent and our capability in terms of our weaponry system, our surveillance systems, and the intent behind both political resolve and the willpower and the collective response of the people. Therefore, Pakistan is very clear that we have brought it out like terror and talks can't go together. And secondly, we said blood and water will not flow together. And if there's anything to talk, is about the illegal occupation and return of the Pakistan occupied J&K. That is a very, very combat power, and we are not willing. It is an all-nation war or all war on all fronts, whether diplomatic, Indus Water Treaty is a big leverage in our hand, and we are using it to our advantage. And let me assure you, the way we are going, Pakistan, we have established a credible credible deterrence against Pakistan. Pakistan, anytime it wants to do something like this, it will think 10 times before it does. And you are very well aware that inside in the hinterland in J&K, also anti-terrorist operations are going on.
Yes,
in the last 48
yeah.
hours, we've been able to kill 6 of the terrorists.
Yes.
A huge amount of weaponry has been recovered. So the terrorists are on the run. They don't know whether to go back to Pakistan because the counter-infiltration grid is very strong, and there's a crackdown on terrorism and the overground workers in J&K. Therefore, Pakistan is a very, very lot because its more important military bases were destroyed. In fact, the Sargodha base is very close to the nuclear site.
Yes,
and where the aircraft which carry the nuclear arsenal are placed there.
Yes.
Therefore, and this is the first time we have struck Pakistan in their heartland in Punjab. Otherwise, been striking J&K only, Pak-occupied J&K. This is very, very clear that we will not accept the nonsense, and we will strike a will at a time and place of our choosing, and we will not even warn them.
Yes.
And not only to them, the big showing of intent, both military and also political
the
democracy.
rules have been changed. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has questioned whether nuclear weapons are safe in the hands of a rogue nation like Pakistan. He has urged the International Atomic Energy Agency to supervise Pakistan's nuclear arsenal. Tell us, why is this a very real and major concern, and can some remedial action be taken here?
Yeah, firstly, let me bring out, even the international community is very clear that all the traces, all the strings, the roots of terrorism is in Pakistan, and that too in the Punjab province of Pakistan. Now, there's a very unholy alliance between the government, the army, and these terrorists. The two things what the Pakis are using as a strategic weapon is terror and nuclear, saber rattling. So we are very clear that Pakistan, since it's a rogue state and it may do anything because it's controlled by the army, the nuclear arsenal everywhere in the world except Pakistan is in the hands of the military leaders. Secondly, Pakistan is doing very, very poorly economically, and there's a lot of internal turmoil in Pakistan. There's terrorism in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in the Balochistan, and the economy is doing very, very poorly, and the army is divided between democratic pro-Imran Khan forces and the Assam radicalist Pakistan army. Therefore, if there's a two fears, one, the army generals, to save their chair, may use this weapon of mass destruction, or this, since there's an unholy alliance between terrorists and the Pakistani generals, this may fall in the hands of terrorists. And we know the terrorists have no religion and no nation. They may do anything. Therefore, it's very, very essential for the world community to neutralize them.
Yes.
See what we are doing, the world community is doing against Iran. But why can't they do against Pakistan?
No, India has
one
been
thing
transparent.
I want to bring out, it is not a very easy thing.
Yes.
Because Pak is not signatory to the NPT. And the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, may have to do very little. But a lot of economic pressure. We need to strangulate Pakistan economically. And then only it come down to his knees. And when the people of Pakistan, so-called the Awam, will ask the military leaders, we need food, we need butter, and not the bank. That is the time Pakistan needs to do it. There are some news also floating around that there was earthquakes there, and the Pakistan arsenal there was a radioactive leak. In the media, whether it's true or false, it is not authenticated that even the American aircrafts were there to see whether the radiation has been there or not. So it is a very, very complex thing, and every credential of Pakistan being a rogue and unstable nation, and it may use this, because it is under the radicalized senior army officer, especially Asim Munir, and therefore it needs to be the nuclear weapons needs to be neutralized or taken over by the world community.
Yes, so it's only depressing that even MPs in their parliament show fake news. India has been transparent in debunking its Pakistan's disinformation campaign right throughout. So how does India's evidence-based approach contrast with Pakistan's disinformation tactics? Do you see this positively impacting India's global credibility?
Yeah. Firstly, I want to say it is the first time, Balakot also we could have the evidence, but this is the first time all 9 terrorist camps which were struck, it was real-time information. The imageries were shown to the world and to the people of India that what was the change detection, as we call it, what was before the strike and what was after the strike. It was very evident that terrorist camps have been destroyed. And talking about the funeral again, the Pakistani army officers were attending, and the funeral was conducted of all these leaders by a senior designated terrorist. And Maulana Mazur Azhar was also seeing crying because the family has been devastated. Second, what I want to bring out, that all missiles which have been recovered inside, all Turkish-made drones and the Chinese PF-16 missiles have been shown as evidence. Next thing, what I want to bring out, all the 11 air bases which were destroyed, the imageries have been shown. Now coming to India side, whatever Pak has been spending the fake narrative or the misinformation campaign, our Honorable Prime Minister the first to lead from the front. He went to the Adampur airfield. See, if the airfield was destroyed or damaged, the aircraft couldn't have landed. And secondly, you saw his body language and his command over the language and the morale of the troops. And also, his photograph was taken along with X-400 and also the MiG-29 fighters. So now the Pakistan is exposed totally of the misinformation campaign. And today also you saw Honorable Raksha Mantri is there in Bhuj, and yesterday he was there in Badami Bagh Cantonment, Srinagar. Our Chief of the Army Staff is going to the J&K area, forward areas, to show and to reassure the people that do not believe in Pakistan. Humor is the false narrative. What else can we show? We have shown everything live with imageries. Not only us, the world community has picked up by the satellite. So and we have shown our Prime Minister has landed to the place which was told to them that it is devastated. Therefore, Pakistan is totally exposed. And like coming number of channels saying it should be called Jhutistan or Fakistan.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much, Rajiv Chopra ji, for being on DD India News. The Press Information Bureau's fact-check unit has dismissed a social media claim featuring a fabricated front page of the UK-based newspaper, The Daily Telegraph. The PIB clarified that the claim is entirely false, confirming that the image is AI-generated and that The Daily Telegraph has never published such an article. This claim was amplified by Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar during his speech to the Senate on May 15, 2025 by endorsing a fabricated image and headline, thereby giving official credibility to deliberate digital misinformation.
ये टेलीग्राफ क्या लिखता है? Pakistan Air Force is undisputed king.
The Press Information Bureau's PIB fact-check unit further also debunked a fake news article circulating on social media, falsely claiming that accusations against Prime Minister Narendra Modi have been confirmed. The article is manipulated and AI-generated and designed to mislead the public. And to further expose Pakistan's fake propaganda to the world, India will send delegations on foreign tours after May 22nd. This information is as per sources. Each delegation will have around 5 to 6 members of parliament. Senior MPs will lead these delegations. The Indian Army on Thursday said that in line with the talks held between the Director Generals of Military Operation of India and Pakistan on May 10th, the two sides have agreed to continue implementing confidence-building measures aimed at reducing alertness levels along the line of control and other sensitive sectors. The DGMOs of India and Pakistan on Monday held talks over a dedicated hotline to discuss ways to prevent inimical military actions and consider immediate steps to reduce troop deployments along the borders and forward areas. The recent de-escalation comes after India's Operation Sindoor, which saw precise strikes on suspected terror infrastructure in Pakistan earlier this month. The strikes were carried out in response to the Pahalgam terror attack, reportedly targeting several key Pakistani military installations. So, in a breakthrough against terrorism in the Kashmir Valley, security forces killed 6 terrorists in 2 separate encounters in Shopia and Pulwama's Tral within the span of 48 hours. A joint briefing was held by the Indian Army, J&K Police today, during which IGP Kashmir V.K. Birdi termed both these operations as very successful.
हम लोगों ने पिछले 48 घंटों में 2 सक्सेसफुल ऑपरेशन यहाँ अंजाम दिए हैं। ये 2 ऑपरेशंस एक केलर के इलाके में जो कि शोपियां में आता है वहाँ हुआ और दूसरा जो कि कल जो था त्राल के इलाके में हुआ। इन दोनों ऑपरेशंस में 6 टेररिस्ट को न्यूट्रलाइज किया गया।
You're watching DD India News. Still to come on this show. 11-day-long Tanga Yatra honouring the courage and sacrifice of India's armed forces continues throughout India. And fugitive Nirav Modi suffers another big setback. A UK court rejects his fresh bail plea.
Namaskaram from Telangana, India's youngest state, a rising star.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Tanvi Taneja. A quick reminder of the headlines we are tracking at this hour. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh reiterates at the Bhuj Air Force Station that Operation Sindoor is not over. It only puts Pakistan on probation. Compliments Indian armed forces for carrying forward Prime Minister Modi's message not just to Pakistan but to the entire world. India retaliates against Turkey for support given to Pakistan, revokes security clearance of Turkish ground handling firm Celebi Airport Services. Indian trade leaders resolve to boycott trade with Turkey and Azerbaijan. In a first, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar speaks with his Talibani counterpart, thanks Afghanistan for condemning the Pahalgam terror attack, affirms India's commitment to carry forward development works in Afghanistan. Ukraine peace talks expected in Istanbul today in the absence of top leaders. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio says Trump and Putin need to meet for progress to be made, downplays expectations for a peace breakthrough. In a significant nationwide outreach effort, the 11-day-long Tanga Yatra began across the country on Tuesday. The Yatra honors the courage and sacrifice of India's armed forces, particularly in the light of the recently concluded successful Operation Sindoor. In Tripura, the second Tiranga Yatra was taken out in Belonia to display solidarity with the Indian Armed Forces for their remarkable feat in Operation Sindoor. The Yatra was led by Union Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, L. Murugan. When talked about the operation, this is what he said.
The Pakistan has to be already हमने डिस्ट्रॉय किया पाकिस्तान का टेररिस्ट कैंप्स के लिए ऑपरेशन सिंदूर ने बिग विक्ट्री दिया वो हमारा जीरो टॉलरेंस अगेंस्ट टेररिज्म.
Enthusiasm surged in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh's Gwalior city as people participated in the Tiranga Yatra. Hundreds turned up for the Yatra to salute the Indian Army's valor. While success of Operation Sindoor is being celebrated by taking out the Tiranga Yatra in Faridabad, where thousands of people took to the streets last evening to celebrate the success of Operation Sindoor and took out a huge Tiranga Yatra in which people from every class and every region, including women, participated and raised slogans. On this occasion, apart from Union Minister of State Krishna Pal Gurjar and other MLAs, workers also participated and raised the tricolour in their hands and praised the bravery and valour of the three defence forces. A Maoist camp was busted in Bolangir district in the eastern Indian state of Odisha. Acting on a tip-off, a joint operation was launched by personnel from the local police, the district voluntary force and the special operations group. Security personnel also recovered a significant quantity of explosives from the camp. The search operation was conducted in Gandha Mardan Reserve Forest. The police said that recent crackdowns on Maoists and their camps in Chhattisgarh under Operation Black Forest have forced many of them to seek shelter in Odisha. In a major operation against Naxalites on the Chhattisgarh-Telangana border, a brave CRPF dog was martyred. The tragic incident occurred while a CRPF and Chhattisgarh police team were conducting a 21-day search operation in the Karegutta Hills. K9 Rolo, who was part of the team, was actively assisting the search operation when he was bitten by a swarm of some 200 bees, resulting in his death. K9 Rolo will be honoured posthumously for his service.
और ये खोलना होगा ऊपर वाला कारपेंटर आराम से एक तरफ से डाल दो और फिर दूसरा.
India welcomed Afghan regime's rejection of attempts to create distrust between the two countries during External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar's first interaction with Acting Foreign Minister of Afghanistan Amir Khan Muttaqi. In his first ever conversation, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on X wrote, "Good conversation with Acting Afghan Foreign Minister M.A. Khan Muttaqi. Deeply appreciate his condemnation of the Pahalgam terrorist attack. Welcomed his firm rejection of recent attempts to create distrust between India and Afghanistan through false and baseless reports. Underlined our traditional friendship with the Afghan people and continuing support for their development needs. Discussed ways and means of taking this cooperation forward." This is also the first political level contact and conversation since the Taliban captured power in Kabul in August 2021. In January this year, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri met Muttaqi in Dubai. Moving on now, India has retaliated against Turkey for its support for Pakistan. India revoked the security clearance of Turkish ground handling firm Celebi Airport Services India Private Limited with immediate effect. In an order issued on Thursday, the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security said that the decision was taken in the interest of national security. Celebi Aviation provides passenger handling, flight operations, cargo and postal services, as well as management of aero bridges and warehouse services at airports across 9 cities, including Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Goa, Cochin and Kannur. The security clearance for this company had been approved by the BCAS Director General in November 2022. The Confederation of All India Traders, CAIT, has decided to stop trade with Turkey and Azerbaijan due to their support for Pakistan. The decision was taken in the organization's meeting in New Delhi, which was attended by trade bodies from over 24 states. All kind of imports and exports as well as travel will be banned. CAIT will also launch a campaign against goods manufactured in Turkey and Azerbaijan. CAIT is a leading traders body representing the interests of over 9 crore traders and small businesses across India, with a vast network of over 40,000 trade associations. Involvement and support by China also surfaced during Operation Sindoor. Adani Airport Holdings has ended its partnership with Chinese digital airport platform Dragon Pass that provided access to airport lounges with immediate effect. As a result, Dragon Pass members will no longer be able to access lounges at airports managed by the Adani Group. This was said by the Ahmedabad-based company in a statement on May 15th. In a heartening development, 240 Hajj pilgrims from Ladakh who had been stranded in Srinagar for over a week have been successfully airlifted to Madina Munawara thanks to the timely intervention of various authorities. The pilgrims were left stranded after the cancellation of SpiceJet flight on May 9th. However, swift coordination among officials led to the arrangement of special SpiceJet flights, ensuring their safe and smooth journey to the holy city. An emotional farewell ceremony was held at the Hajj house in Srinagar, where the pilgrims were seen off by Muhammad Ali Majaz, Honorable Chairperson of the Hajj Committee, Union Territory of Ladakh. The gathering was marked by heartfelt prayers and gratitude. In a dramatic rescue operation, the Indian Coast Guard successfully saved 6 crew members of cargo vessel MSV Salamat. Multi-purpose support vessel Salamat sank in the early hours of 14th May, approximately 60 to 70 nautical miles southwest of Mangalore, Karnataka. The distress alert was first received from a passing vessel MT Epic Susoe, reporting a small boat adrift with survivors. Coast Guard ship Vikram, already patrolling nearby, rushed to the scene, recovering the stranded crew from a dinghy. Fugitive Nirav Modi's troubles have deepened once again. A UK court on Thursday rejected a fresh bail petition filed by Nirav Modi, who has been in London prison for nearly 6 years after losing his extradition battle to face fraud and money laundering charges in India. The bail plea was strongly opposed by the Crown Prosecution Service, which was assisted by a strong team from India's Central Bureau of Investigation. He is in a UK prison since 19th March 2019. His extradition has already been approved by the High Court of the UK in favour of the Indian government. This was his 10th bail application. It may be recalled that Nirav Modi is a fugitive economic offender wanted for trial in India in a bank fraud case being probed by the CBI involving the defrauding of Punjab National Bank of some 6,498 crore rupees. And next we take a look at other stories making news in India. Odisha's Cuttack police successfully arrested 6 hardened dacoits who committed multiple armed dacoities in various districts. Huge amount of gold, silver and cash and arms have been recovered from these criminals. Cuttack police is committed to safety and security of citizens. The police investigation revealed that their extensive involvement in organized crime had left several communities shaken. Delhi woke up on Friday to worsened air quality. A sudden spike in dust pollution is causing the air quality to deteriorate. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, the AQI recorded in most of the observation stations was in very poor category. According to the IMD, the sudden wind gusts reaching speeds of 30 to 40 kilometers per hour swept across Pahalgam and adjoining areas, bringing in significant dust from Rajasthan. The Enforcement Directorate conducted raids at 8 locations in Chennai, including the residence of TASMAC MD Visakan and offices linked to filmmaker Akash Bhaskaran in connection with a 1,000 crore rupee liquor scam. Officials confirmed the raids are related to serious money laundering allegations. Union Minister Rajnath Singh recently visited the picturesque Hatikuli tea estate in Bokahat in Assam. During the visit, the minister had the opportunity to interact with the women workers there who form the backbone of the estate's operations. Chauhan expressed his deep commitment to supporting the empowerment of these women. You're watching DD India News Hour, still to come on the show. EU and UK wrangle to expand security and defence ties ahead of a pivotal London summit on Monday. Also coming up next, a musical evening in Dhaka celebrating Lord Buddha's life. Neeraj Chopra leads strong Indian contingent at Doha Diamond League, eyeing another victory.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Tanvi Taneja. Updates on the Russia-Ukraine conflict now. Russia and Ukraine will hold their first peace talks in 3 years of the conflict in Turkey's Istanbul shortly. Delegations of both the sides have arrived in Istanbul. Earlier, Russian President proposed direct talks on 15th May in Istanbul in response to a call by European leaders and Ukraine for a 30-day unconditional ceasefire. Zelensky then challenged Putin to meet him in person, but on Thursday, the Kremlin said that Russian President was not among the officials due to travel. Zelensky had travelled to Turkey but said that he would not attend the talks after his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin declined his calls for face-to-face negotiations. The Ukrainian president, however, confirmed that he would send a delegation for the talks in Istanbul but criticized the low-level delegation being sent by Moscow.
Despite quite a low level of Russian delegation, but with respect to Donald Trump, with respect to the high level of Turkish delegation, with respect to President Erdogan, and willing to demonstrate to try to achieve at least first steps in de-escalation and ending the war, ceasefire. I decided to send our delegation to Istanbul, but not all of them. Head of State Security Service and Chief of Staff won't be there. The delegation will be led by the Defense Minister.
Dashing hopes for peace in Ukraine, US President Trump on Thursday said that there would be no progress on peace talks without a meeting between himself and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Nothing's going to happen until Putin and I get together, okay? And obviously he wasn't going to go. He was going to go, but he thought I was going to go. He wasn't going if I wasn't there. And I don't believe anything's going to happen, whether you like it or not, until he and I get together. But we're going to have to get it solved because too many people are dying.
The EU and the UK will be heading into a pivotal summit in London on Monday, aiming to finalise a landmark defence and security partnership while continuing to clash over fishing rights and food import checks. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will host EU leaders, including Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, as part of a symbolic reset in post-Brexit relations. The defence pact, spurred by growing threats from Russia and concerns over US support under Donald Trump, could pave the way for UK involvement in EU missions and access to a $167 billion EU defence fund. However, negotiations remain tense over access for EU fishermen and youth mobility scheme that Britain sees as a threat to its immigration controls. Officials expect the security agreement to be signed, but say many issues will require further talks. The summit will also include 2 additional documents on shared global goals and ongoing contentious topics. Indira Gandhi Cultural Centre, High Commissioner for India in Dhaka, celebrated Buddha Purnima on Thursday. The cultural evening included a musical storytelling of Lord Buddha's life, Bharatanatyam and Odissi dance performances. Speaking at the Buddha Purnima celebrations, High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma, emphasized the deep spiritual and cultural ties. The highlight of the evening was a musical storytelling showcasing the life of Lord Buddha, choreographed by the celebrated dancer Proma Abonte. And time now for some sporting action in DD India News Hour. First updates from javelin. Reigning javelin throw world champion Neeraj Chopra will spearhead a 4-front Indian challenge at the Doha Diamond League, which is scheduled to kick off on Friday. Asian Games silver medalist Kishore Jena will keep Neeraj company in the men's javelin throw event, while Parul Chaudhary will compete in the women's 3000 meter steeplechase event. Another Indian athlete, Gulveer Singh, is all set for his Diamond League debut when he takes to the tracks in the men's 5000 meter race. This is the largest Indian contingent at any single Diamond League meet to date. Neeraj Chopra won the Doha leg of the Diamond League in 2023 and finished second last year. Barcelona secured their 28th La Liga title on Thursday when they beat city rivals Espanyol 2-0. Espanyol were arguably the better side in a first half that was goalless, thanks to Barca goalkeeper Wei Szczęsny, who made a brilliant save. Lamine Yamal opened the scoring in the second half with a brilliant curling effort before Fermin Lopez added another in the 95th minute to secure victory. The result moved Barcelona to 85 points, 7 ahead of second-placed Real Madrid with 2 games left to play. Barcelona fans celebrated their team's La Liga title. The team completed a domestic treble this season with Copa del Rey and Spanish Super Cup victories. Lionel Messi is set to return to Argentina's squad for their World Cup qualifiers against Chile and Colombia. The 37-year-old missed the doubleheader in March because of an adductor injury, but his team still qualified for next year's tournament by beating Uruguay and Brazil. Messi-led Argentina will visit struggling Chile on June 5th and then will host 6th-placed Colombia in Buenos Aires on June 10th. Messi will then return to the United States to play in the opening match of the FIFA Club World Cup, where Inter Miami host Al Ahly on June 14th. Al Ittihad clinched the Saudi Pro League title with 2 matches to spare as they came from a goal down to beat Al Raed 3-1. Al Ittihad needed a win to earn their 10th league title, but Al Raed drew first blood at Omar Gonzalez as Omar Gonzalez gave the bottom team the lead. Al Ittihad fought back with Steven Bergwijn equalizing 12 minutes later. Danilo Pereira header gave them the lead shortly before half-time. 2 minutes into the second half, Abdul Rahman Al Aboud put the game out of Al Raed's reach. The win moved Al Ittihad to 77 points from 32 matches, 9 points ahead of second-placed Al Hilal. In Indian Premier League, Lucknow Super Giants have signed New Zealand pacer Will O'Rourke as replacement for injured Mayank Yadav for the remaining season. This marked the first time O'Rourke was signed by an IPL team. Mayank suffered a back injury and was ruled out for the season. The pacer had missed the initial games this season as well as he recovered from toe and back injuries. Mayank played just 2 games after returning, picking 2 wickets and conceding a sub-optimal economy rate of 12.5. Lucknow Super Giants sit in the 7th place with 10 points from 11 games. and need to win all its remaining league games to keep their playoffs hope alive. Opener Shafali Verma and wicketkeeper batter Yastika Bhatia have returned to India's women cricket team after selectors picked the squads for the upcoming tour of England. India have named a 15-member T20 squad, and the ODI squad consists of 16 players. Both the teams will be led by Harmanpreet Kaur, who will be assisted by Smriti Mandhana. Verma has been included in the T20 squad after a gap of 7 months. Yastika Bhatia, who was sidelined since last November due to a wrist injury, also returned to the team. Yastika is part of both T20 and one-day squads. India will play 5 T20s and 3 one-day internationals in England starting on June 28th. And in some tennis updates now, American Coco Gauff clinched a marathon 3-set battle against China's Cheng Kin Wen to advance into the Italian Open final. Gauff will face Italy's Jasmine Paolini in Saturday's title match after pulling through 7-6, 4-6, 7-6 in the semi-finals that lasted over 3.5 hours. 6th seed Paolini is the third Italian woman to reach the final and the first since her doubles partner Sara Errani was thumped by Serena Williams in 2014. Paolini will have a chance to be the first woman from the Mediterranean nation to win in Rome since Raffaella Reggi in 1985. In men's singles, Yannick Sinner marched into the semi-finals of the Italian Open after destroying Casper Ruud in straight sets 6-0, 6-1. Ruud was supposed to be Sinner's toughest test in Rome since he came back from his doping ban. But the 23-year-old demolished Ruud in just over an hour. Sinner won the first set in just 27 minutes and maintained his record of not dropping a set in the tournament. Sinner will next play American Tommy Paul, while the other semi-final will pit Lorenzo Musetti against Spanish Carlos Alcaraz on Friday. And with that, we wrap up this edition of DD India News Hour. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.